Namaste. Welcome to another episode of Bhojana Katha. Yum, payasam, payas, firni immediately brings the pictures of white and yellow rice puddings garnished with cashews, raisins and all that, right? A little different from this picture is the kheer, that is Ambalapuzha Pal Payasam. Yes, it is made out of rice, but even without any garnishing, it is the tastiest payasam you would have ever tasted. And do you know the best part? It can never be replicated. What makes it so special? We go to Kerala to explore the story behind this extraordinary payasam. The king of Chembakasheri was a devotee of Lord Krishna. He was renowned as the best player of chaturanga or chess, and that made him a bit egoistic, that no one could win over him. He often challenged people of his kingdom and the guests who came also to defeat him. Once, a poor old Brahmana who was new to that area came forward and said that he could try and challenge the king. He had one condition though. If he defeated the king had to give him some amount of rice. It seemed a simple deal, a reasonable demand, and the king agreed. On asking how much rice the old man wanted, he said, "O king, on the chaturanga board, that is the chess board, right, with 64 squares, you have to place 1 grain of rice on the first square and then double it for the next one and then double it again, and this should go on for all the 64 squares." And the king didn't calculate the math as he was sure about winning. Let us pause a while and do the math. So 1 square, 1 grain, the next 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and by the time we reach the 18th square, the calculation comes to 1,30,712 grains. So can you imagine how many grains would have to be placed in the 64th square? Yes, crores of rice grains. What do you think happened? Did the king win? The king, as fate would have it, was defeated, and he had owed a humongous amount of grains to that old Brahmana. He sourced the grains from his entire kingdom, but still it was not enough, and it was impossible for the king to fulfill the winner's condition. Seeing the fix that the king was in, the Brahmana revealed his true form, and it was Lord Shri Krishna. The king's pride was humbled by the Lord, and the king was asked to fulfill the condition by making Pal Payasam with rice for Shri Krishna and Ambalapuzha every day, so that the king could repay his debt bit by bit. And that was how the ritual of making the Pal Payasam began in Ambalapuzha. In history, Tipu Sultan was on a rampage, conquering places, destroying temples. So for a brief period of 12 years, the Murti of Guruvayurappan temple from Guruvayur was kept in Ambalapuzha, and here he was protected from the tyrants. So when this Pal Payasam is offered to Shri Krishna in the main temple of Ambalapuzha, some of it is also offered to Guruvayurappan, who was housed in the same temple in a different Sannidhi. So the Murti was reconsecrated at Guruvayur after 12 years. Lord Guruvayurappan loved the taste of the Payasam so much that it is believed that even today, after the noon puja at Guruvayur, Guruvayurappan comes to Ambalapuzha to get some Payasam. What goes into that Ambalapuzha Payasam is only water, milk, rice and sugar. But it is the right mix of the ingredients prepared with extreme devotion that makes this Payasam very, very special. The special cooks assigned for this job start their work at 3 a.m. Can you believe that? Yes. And the Payasam is prepared using 71 liters of milk. 4 times of that is water, which is 284 liters, that is 9 kilos of rice and 15.84 kilos of sugar. The measurements are very precise. The water apparently is the key to the taste of the Payasam. There are 2 wells inside the temple premise, and equal measure of water, which is 142 liters, is taken from each of the well. First the water is boiled and then the milk is added. This is allowed to boil till all the water evaporates. To this is added the rice, where each grain is cut into 4 parts. Once the rice is cooked, the sugar is added. Adding of the sugar is a ritual by itself. Once it is time for adding the sugar, the helper calls out loudly in an extended voice, "Vasudeva!" and it is to seek Krishna's permission to add sugar to his favorite payasam. Once this is done, other helpers bring in the sugar and that is added to the payasam. By around 11:30 am, the payasam is also ready. All of the payasam made that day is brought in front of the Lord and offered. In most temples, a bowl is offered at the altar and it is added to the rest of the vessels later after the puja. But in Ambalapuzha, all the vessels are offered at the altar on whole. The custom there is that only a fixed number of vessels should be used for making the payasam. With growing demand, they cannot increase the number of vessels used to make the payasam. So, one has to book in advance for the payasam, which is sold in half liter or 1 liter quantities. This payasam has another name, Gopala Kashayam, as its water content is completely removed, like the preparation of Kashayam, the consistency of the tonic. It is also called so because it is supposed to have amazing healing powers. Devotees believe that even people with diabetes are not affected by taking the sweet payasam. It's a wonder. This payasam with so many stories and specialities in it is one of the tastiest payasams, and all of who have tasted it are truly blessed. Do you know, a portion of the payasam is reserved for the Travancore royal family and it is sent there every day. With the advent of trains and that too fast transportation, it is said that the royal family has postponed their lunch time so that they can relish the prasadam of the Lord before their lunch. Such is the glory and the taste of Ambalapuzha Pal Payasam. Krishna Krishna.